Hello there. Uh, it has come to my attention that I'm a bit of an idiot. When I did the last video, I forgot to press the load more on tournaments. So there's tons that I missed. So let's go. Let's go through those. I'm getting a bit concerned because there's like 30 tournaments that took place over January that I haven't done the data for because I'm waiting for API access, and I should probably spend some time at some point this week just manually doing at least January and the start of February to catch up, or else it's going to be like almost a week's work to get it all sorted. But anyway, um, a bit stressful, but whatever. Cool. So the first one we're going to look at took place on January the 25th. The Great MaW, the Old World GT en France. Organisé par les chatteurs de Topolis. Du Topolis, notre barrageuse citoyenne. Which was won by Alex Hayar, I think. Lorenz Inro from the Fratre Lupus, the Brotherhood of the Wolf. And third place, congratulations, Sally. What's congratulations in French? I can't remember. Anyway, congratulations to Monsieur Moncon. So, Alex won. Pierre came third. He has Exiles with that Baron, with that Chaos Wizard, with that, yeah. Some Knights of the Realm, some Yeomen, some Bowmen, a load of Pegasus Knights, and 2 Bombards. We've seen this list before. Classic list. Then there's a Mortuary Priest list with all of the priests on foot, which you don't see particularly often. However, there's a big chunk of arrows and a poisoned attacks thing there. So these are all going to rain down a ton of poisoned attacks a turn. He's got 14 Bow Shabti, which is hella nasty. Some Tomb Swarms to give bonuses to casting when necessary, because you can basically wound the Tomb Swarms and then get bonuses to casting. And then, of course, you can, just resurrect the Tomb Swarms later. Not in the same turn, obviously, because you do casting after you do command phase stuff, but still, you can get them back. He's got 2 caskets and a Screaming Skull catapult. This is a very horrible list. It hasn't got the traditional 2 to 3 Necrosphinx, but equally it has got an awful lot of shooting, and having 2 caskets means you've got 1 free to cast the magic missile. You've got the level 4's got necromancy. Yeah. Oh, they've all got necromancy. So there's tons of leadership debuffs coming at you, which means you're probably going to fail your Casket of Souls leadership test, which means it's going to hit you with the mega one, which is like, what is it, D6, Strength 5, AP 3, or something ridiculous. It's absolutely, or is it D3 plus 3, or even D6 plus 3? Anyway, it's really nasty, the magic missile. If you pass your leadership test, it's like D3, Strength 3, no AP, but if you fail it, it's absolutely nightmarish. And a couple of Tomb Scorpions. Presumably, they've got the terrors below, presumably just to like pop up and just get in the way a bit. So that's I've not actually seen this list before, so this is a new one. It's obviously doing quite well. Very, very shooting heavy. I think if you get like 1 unit into combat with it, then it starts to crumble quite quickly. But unless and until you hit that point, you're going to get shot to ribbons. And then Alex managed to win with the Tomb Kings. He's got a level 4 Amulet of Serpent, big unit of archers. There they are. Mortuary Priest with Elementalism, and a Tomb King with the Armour of Ages. So he's got the Dragon, he's got a level 4, he's got a big chunk of archers, he's got some skirmishers, he's got some Tomb Guard, actually, who are drilled. That's a big chunk, 400 points. But then again, it's like, I think that means there's 30 of them. Oh no, that's just one, so there's 28 of them. So 7 by 4, that's not bad. He's got some Bow Shabti, of course, and a casket and a couple of Tomb Scorpions, because Tomb Scorpions are amazing for their points. So yeah, that's a very good list as well, but not mortuary cults, which is interesting. So well done to those guys, especially Alex for and Pierre for going undefeated. Now this is I was talking last time about like tournament tech and like how people actually win a tournament because Pierre has Lorenz lost a game, but if you look at his scores, he's got 220s, he's got 50, 69, 77, 69, hey, 77, and Pierre has got 31, 41, 57, 59. He's got 69. Hey, nice. So Pierre has just fallen short of Lorenz because the better wins he got, he dropped points. And in fact, you look at Lorenz, he's got a 20, 20 and a 19. So Pierre, because he never curb stomped anybody, manages to end up in third. So that's interesting. But Lorenz probably had a bit harder day because he started off with 220s. So like game number, they got table numbers. I'm surprised he wasn't on top table. He was on table 7 with 220s. That doesn't sound right. No, I don't know how they were doing the table system really, but he should have basically. Well, the tables were obviously not numbered based on like who the best player was at that point. Because normally, like if you're doing Swiss pairings, the person who's got the best result ends up fighting on the top table. So with 220s, his third game really should have been top table. So, but anyway, so what that means is they've shifted the tables around, but equally, Lorenz will have been on like the top table in terms of the difficulty of his opponent, or should have been. He was actually up against Alex at that point, who got a 15 and a 19. Had nobody else got 2 wins better? That's really interesting. So yeah, so then this was the top table on round 3. And then Alex managed to absolutely smash his last 2 games, and Alex had a much better Sunday than Lorenz did. I'd imagine that Lorenz had a bit too much of the old vin rouge on the on the a bit too much Chateauneuf de Pape on the Saturday night, and had a rough Sunday. But that's pure speculation. I haven't got a clue. So that's that one. Then we had Uprising the Old World, which took place in Australia. Liam Spires came third with his Bretts. Andrew White came second with High Elves, pre-book. And James Chadwick came first with his Beastman. Right. Liam Spires has a Bretonnia list, normal Bretonnia list. He has 2 prophetesses. We've seen that a few times actually. It's quite interesting that we're seeing like multiple level 4s in a Bretonian list. Especially bearing in mind they are actually quite cheap. I mean, 180 points for a level 4 is pretty cheap, considering what they can do for your army. They're it might be worthwhile leaning more into that than into the Pegasus. He's still leaning into Pegasus, of course, but that means that you can make your Knights of the Realms so much better by sticking a prophetess in them. So that's pretty good. Interesting choice to take 50 men at arms. I submit that's entirely a waste of points because I mean, I've fought these bloody things before on quite a number of occasions, and all I do is I charge my elite cavalry into them, make sure that's their first charge of the game, so it deletes their rank bonus. Make sure you target enough attacks at the Yeoman and at the Grail Monk so that you kill both of those, and then basically they lose their stubborn and all their special rules and all that kind of stuff, and they just fail their break test and run away, and you run them down and you kill the whole unit in just like that. Oh, God. Oh. I find it really difficult to click my fingers. It's because I've been doing a lot of grip training and my hands have got really meaty. So I can't, like... That's a terrible flex, isn't it? Oh, my grip strength's too hard. I can't click my fingers. It's actually quite difficult. Right. I haven't tried to click my fingers for a long time now. You wonder how Thanos did it, really, don't you? Because he's got big, meaty hands. Oh, that was better. Um, uh, anyway, Air Force Ultron Uprising 2025. So we've got an Archmage level 4, we've got a Noble on a Griffon, we have a Prince on a Dragon, some Larian Reavers, which I've talked about these before. They are pretty trashy, however, they're the only light cavalry that High Elves have got. So they're pretty much a must include because you do need some light cavalry to kite horrible units around. He's got a couple of units of archers just to sort of be a bit chaffy, that sort of thing. And they're probably the most chaffy that you're going to get in the elf book. He's got a couple of units of silver helms, which are, you know, reasonably decent core cavalry. They're actually reasonably cheap for what they do. Then he's got a lion chariot. He's got a sky cutter, and he has a big-ish, well, that is a big unit of sisters. They are nasty. They're like BS5, strength 3, AP 1 sort of thing with armor bane, that kind of stuff. They're pretty nasty archers. So yeah, that's they're horrible, and you really don't want to get shot at by them. And then he's got the dragon and the BSB Griffin, which is quite an interesting choice. He's gone for some sort of defense with the items. Dragon Helm gives you like gives you like a 6-up ward, and I think it's +1 to your save as well, something like that. So full plate shield, so 4, 3, 2 plus sort of save. And he's gone for opal amulets. I can't remember what they do. And some lances here. And he's gone for dragon with the armor of Calador, which I think is that full plate, and it's got a 3-up ward against flaming attacks or something like that, or a 4-up ward against flaming or something. Anyway, it's not amazing, but only one Seed of Rebirth here. You normally see high elf characters all having the Seed of Rebirth because 5-up regen is great, and it's apparently extremely common. So all high elf heroes are born with these things, it seems. But yeah, pretty cool list. And then top was it top with Beastman? Yeah, I think it was a tournament last time I did one of these videos that we had Beastman coming top. So that's nice to see because they are a good list. He's got the Doom Ball, he's got the level 4 Wizard, this time in a chariot with the Hag Tree Fetish and the Ruby Ring. That all makes sense. I hope he's not using the Hag Tree Fetish on the Ruby Ring. Hag Tree Fetish allows you to re-roll wound rolls for magic missiles. The Ruby Ring, however, but that only affects the caster. It shouldn't affect the Ruby Ring. Because it's the item that casts it, not the caster, so the Hag Tree Fetish doesn't have an impact. However, Beastmen have this spell called Vile Tide, which does 5d6 strength 1 attacks that allow no armor saves. So, pardon me, on 5d6, you're probably rolling, I don't know, about like 18 hits. So that's 3 wounds, but then you get to re-roll. So it's probably doing 5 or 6 wounds, you know, with no armor saves. It's a pretty nasty spell. So that's pretty cool. Then he's got this big unit here, which is what the Doom Ball will probably go in. Who's got the Bedazzling Helm? Can he take that? Yeah, because he's monstrous infantry, so it's infantry or cavalry only, isn't it? It's basically not monsters or behemoths, so he probably can actually. Can he take charm shields? Can a Doom Ball take a shield? Not sure. But anyway, probably somebody would have checked it, wouldn't they? And then he's got a Minotaur Horde, which he's upgraded quite significantly actually. So maybe even the Doom Ball goes in the Minotaur herd. Not sure. He's got 3 Razor Gores to provide a bit of counterpunch because they're like mini chariots really. He's got a couple of units of Dragon Ogres. Some Harpies are great because basically what you do is you drop them down behind an enemy unit that you're about to smash and break, or at least make them fall back in good order. If they don't have to fall back in good order because they're still falling back through the harpies, all of them basically have to roll. You kill half of them whilst they're falling back. Because if you place your models, your bases, so they're like, I haven't got square bases to, yes I have, to hand. So you basically you take your harpy bases and you like place them like that, so they're about an inch apart, and then it just gives you maximum width, so they're about that wide. And that means that every single model in the enemy unit has to fall back through them on a 1 to 3 dead. So pretty decent doing that. And then 2 gigantic spawns. Both of them are Nurgle. Again, I don't think you need both Nurgle. I think you need the one at the front to be Nurgle, because then it gets regen. But once they get into combat, they don't normally need to bother about armor saves, because they normally kill the thing that they're in combat with. You know, unless they're getting hit by like another monster or something with Monster Slayer, but then they just die anyway, because I know the 6 wounds, and I think they're toughness 6 as well, so they are pretty good, but yeah. It's their toughness and wounds that gives them any survivability. Having like a 5 at regen is neither really here nor there, but mainly because you want one to do a bit more damage, or you want to take the Slanesh one, so you get counter charge and strikes first, I think, something like that. Cool. So well done anyway to those chaps, and well done everybody for turning up. Magic Hammer Torneo, the old world, 2,000 points, took place in Scandici. Double C is a ch sound, isn't it? I think. Anyway. The tournament was broken. Then we have the old world Cancon, which is an Australian tradition at this stage. The old Cancon, which was in Lynham. I assumed it was in Canberra, hence it is in Canberra. Yeah. Hence Cancon. Yeah, somewhere. Somewhere around there. Righty-ho. So, how many people took part in this? Quite a few, actually, I think. 53, 5-game tournament, so a big old tournament. Are any of these AOS-y sort of people that I recognise names of? I don't think so. James Foulds, I recognise the name of, but I could be confusing with Derek Foulds, who was an actor in a TV series in the UK called Yes Minister, and later Yes Prime Minister. Sorry, that's a bit of a spoiler, but it was filmed in the 80s, so it's not much of a spoiler. And anyway, it's a pastiche of the British Civil Service, although from all accounts of people I know work in the civil service, it's not a million miles away from reality. Anyway, Ryan Kerr came third with some orcs, Cancon orcs, apparently, in the Magic MaW. So everything has to be mounted. So he's got a war boss on a wyvern, Troller trousers, black eye war boss on a wyvern, Troller so 2. They are so cheap. Like, you can make them so survivable for so cheap. This one's got the Talisman of Protection. This one's got the Effigy. So they've both basically got a 5 up ward, 5 up regen, 3 up save. So 3 up save, great weapons, 5 up ward, 5 up regen. They've got like, it's toughness 6, I think. It's got like 8 wounds. Or maybe, yeah, it's got like 8 wounds, I think. So they're really, really survivable, big, chunky bits of stuff. And because it's got a Black Hawk with a great weapon on, it's going to kick out a ton of damage. So, I don't know, I think they're so cheap. Like 2 Black Hawk War Bosses on Wyverns or 1 Chaos Dragon for the points. You'd take the 2 War Bosses, wouldn't you? Anyway, you got a Goblin Oddknob, which is the level 4 wizard. That's where that is. It's on a wolf chariot to give it a bit more maneuverability, a bit more flexibility, and also a bit more range. He's gone for WoW magic, so he's put it on a chariot to give it again, a bit more range on the command aura things, because he's got a spell that allows you to like add distance to charges, and he's got a spell that allows you to like re-roll, I think, hit rolls or wound rolls or something. So Wild Magic is a pretty good lore for orcs. I contend he's got a level 4 weird knob there as well. So I mean, look at the value of characters he's got there. It's really, really good value characters in total. He's got 1126. This is a 2,400 point tournament. This is really interesting actually, because I think I was saying last time, because I mean, well, Rob Symes, I think, of Honest Wargamer and Squarebased, started this conversation by saying we don't know that we got the right points limit for tournaments. I contend it's about 2,300 points, because it allows you to just take, you know, those few extra bits that essentially it's like a more fleshed out 2K list. I think 2.5 is a bit much, because then you can load too much into characters, I think, and this edition is a bit hero hammery. But you know, if you go for 2,300, it really only gives you an extra like 150 points for characters. So there's not a massive amount of abuse you can do with 1150 characters, and he's actually below 1150 characters here. So he's basically sort of proving me right a little bit, in that he's not gone for like, you know, the full 1,200. He's still got another 70 points he could spend on items, but he's chosen to spend them elsewhere. You've then got core, which again you need 600 points as the core tax rather than 400. You know, again that's fine. I guess that's probably why they went for 2,400, because it's more easily divisible by 4, so it makes it easier sort of mentally to go for stuff. He's got some special. Where's he actually spent his points? He spent his points on characters, really, hasn't he? He's gone for a couple of ball boy mobs. One of them's like the big uns with the Vanguard option and the Banner of Butchery, which makes them it harder. And then he's got a Black Hawk Chariot, because why not? Loads of Wolf Chariots and Wolf Riders. So that's interesting. So with his core stuff, he's gone for he's got another Black Hawk Chariot there. So for his core stuff, he's gone for a kind of flood the board type effect. He's got a couple of Wyverns and a couple of Black Hawk Chariots. So this stuff all floods forwards, dies or falls back, and then you get hit by another wave of orcs. Really interesting list, that. Chris Penwarden came second with... What is it? It's a normal Team King list. So he hasn't even got a dragon. He's only spent 800 points on characters. That's interesting. 2 units of skirmishers. Warriors, 2 go. No massive unit of poisoned archers either. Okay. 6. I'm absolutely baffled by this list, to be honest. Absolutely baffled. Like, he's gone for the standard 2K rare stuff. No Boshabti. How did this work? Like, seriously, how did this actually, like, win a game? Have I clicked... And he managed to... This is a 6-game tournament. He managed to win 4 with that list. Chris has obviously got a bit of talent. Or what is he actually doing? He's got a skeleton chariot, but no other chariots for it to go in. Do you know what? I'm totally baffled by this one. How does it work? Because he's got carrion. Awful. Yeah, I'm totally gobsmacked. There's nothing really that good in it. He's got the champion of the tomb god. He's given a charmed shield. their hand weapons and shields. I know they've got like cleaving blow, but what did he play against? So his first game, which he got a 20, he played an Empire army, which Empire army looks alright. And then he played Reese, who had a Royal Clan, which are quite good. And again, that looks like a pretty solid army. And he did well against that. Like, I'm totally baffled. Like, no dragon, no big unit of poison skeletons, no Bo Shabti. I just don't get it. He's obviously very good. And then Mr. Golding, sorry. Okay, well done, Chris. Hats off. If I had one. Mr. Golding has won this thing though. 6-game tournament down in the deep but not so dark south of the world, I guess, in Australia, with his Vampire Counts list. So he's got a Necromancer level 4 Mortis Engine, Vampire Count, Zombie Dragon level 2, level 3 Wizard, and the Crown of the Damned, which what does that do? I think that allows you to like regen dire wolves and stuff like that. He's got a White Lord, which is War Banner BSB, because he wants some Graveguard or something, or Black Knights. Yeah, there they are. Graveguarding Core. These have the Drakenhof banner, which improves your regen save by 1. So these have got a 5 at regen, and critically, the White Lord, I think, has a 5 at regen inbuilt. So now that's a 4 at regen when it's in that unit. So he's going to be quite hard to kill. We've then got some Fell Bats for reasons. I guess they're only 50 points for 3. He's got 7 Blood Knights and some Vargeists. So I think Dark Acolyte. Yeah, Dark Acolyte allows you to use the Invocation of Nekara, Invocation of Nehek, which is basically what Tomb Kings call Arise, which is like the bring stuff back from the ground to being undead again. So that Vampire Count with the dragons probably going to rock around with the dire wolves and the blood knights on one flank. Again, it's not a terrible, like, it's not a really nasty list. So yeah, very good. Well done, guys. Like, no totally broken lists in the top 3, really. They're all like quite interesting. You know, I'd love to see how they work. Sort of lists. Yeah, and again, this is the importance of getting good wins when you do. Like, absolutely, like, don't. If you're at a tournament, do not slack off. Even when you're winning, don't stop winning that much. Like, don't like feel sorry for your opponent or whatever and try and give them a better game, because that just hurts you. Because if Ryan had done that in this 20 points, he'd have probably only got like 16 or 17, and then it would have dropped below Richard and possibly even Jamie as well. So, you know, you just got to keep going, and you just got to, if you are on for tabling, table them. You got to do it. You got to do it. It's a tournament. Okay, so that's that one. And then we had this Sundsvalls Brödrabatali. Brödrabatali, maybe, I don't know. Which took place in Sverige, how do you say Sweden, whatever. I'll stop trying to pronounce other people's languages. Well, no, I'm not going to. Oh, it's a team event. Okay. So, Sacha Lelutin managed to win. Dum och Dumar. Plague and Pleasure. Interesting. Where do we... Yeah, I don't understand how to read that. Anyway, well, looks like great fun was had by all, maybe. Durham GT, which was the Talabek Throwdown. Damien Bradbury of Team Guess I'll Go and Eat Worms came in third with Britannia. Stephen Toll from Toll Filth came in second with Warriors of Chaos, having sustained a 1 point loss at that point. Interesting. Did Damien beat Stephen? No. Who beat somebody? Martin? Yeah, so Martin beat Stephen in round 2 and then went off because again he didn't finish out very well. He got a really good couple of results early doors and then the last 2 just all went wrong. Right. Damien came third with some Britannia stuff. We got this. Is it this list? It's sort of this list, isn't it? Except this is an Errantry Crusade with Sir Cecil Gaston. Interesting. Who probably goes in there? He's got 5 Pegasus Knights. I mean, it's not totally broken. Yeah, I mean, that's an interesting list. I don't know how that's done so well, to be honest. And then Mr. Toll Filth with his Warriors of Chaos New Durham Steve Toll submitted list. He's got a Nurgle Dragon, of course he has. He's got Nurgle Dragon Sorcerer Lord again. That's an interesting. You do see Double Dragon a bit. Has he gone for another dragon? Yeah, Triple Dragon, nice. And some Marauder Horsemen, some Knights of Nurgle for some reason or other. And then some just other stuff. But he's got he's got Triple Dragon and some other bits to fill it out. So yeah, nice list. And Scott Reed with Tomb Kings managed to win. Oh, goodness gracious, I can't stop yawning. I don't know why. I slept quite well last night. So we've got the Tomb King on a dragon. We've got Double Dragon actually here, it looks like, with Talisman of Protection and Armour of Ages, which means you've got to reroll your wound rolls, and then this gives him a 5 at ward, and he's got an inbuilt 5 at regen anyway. So he can basically use the... he's upgraded to heavy armour for some reason. That's a total waste of points, because this thing already gives you a 4-up save, sort of. Because actually, you're going to be... If you use the Armour of the Ages, you only get a 6-up save, which is something that people miss. Because if you make them re-roll your wound rolls, then you've used the armour, which means the armour only gets a 6-up save. You then can't use the Bone Dragon save. So you either make them re-roll wounds, or you use a 4-up save. So it depends what attacks are coming in. Like if you're getting peppered with rubbishy bow attacks, you might want, if you're getting hit by high strength, low AP attacks, you might want to go with the dragon. But I think re-rolling wounds is always better, to be honest. I can't think of a situation where you wouldn't want to. And then he's gone for another illusion, serpent stuff, lore familiar. So here, Scott's going to be going for spectral doppelganger, because it's 2d6 strength, 5 AP, 2 magical attacks is pretty nasty, in addition to everything else that can deal out. So that's like a combat dragon as well, because of that spell. And then we've got some stalkers for reasons as yet unknown. It's got some tomb swarms, some archers, just to sort of be chaffy and get in the way. 3 scorpions, because they're great, and 2 necrosphinx, because they're great as well. So 4 flappy flying monsters, all sort of traversing the tabletop and being a total nightmare to deal with, and then some other stuff to just be also annoying. So yeah, that's a really good list. I'm really not surprised it won. People keep telling me to look at BKG Old World for some reason, so I'll come back to that, because I wonder if there's something in the rules pack that people want me to have a look at. This was the Highland GT, which took place in Bonnie, Scotland. Or should I adopt that Edinburgh Scottish accent? I had a friend who used to talk like this, and he used to say things like, "You'd never know I was Scottish, would you?" It's like, well, sounding the most Scottish you could possibly sound. Um, um, One day 2K point tournament for Warhammer the Old World held in Inverness. Probably not that kind of accent around Inverness. But anyway, Graham Hart. Actually, I didn't have a friend. That's a story that Stephen Fry tells, and actually, it's not his story either. I can't remember whose it is. Anyway, so Warhammer the Old World, Tomb Kings, Mortuary Cults. Was this first? I can't remember now. I got distracted by stealing somebody else's story, of course. Hold on. Graham was first. Oh, of course he was. Dwarfs in third. I've done it in reverse order. I have. So Dwarfs, you got Paul Andrew with the Royal Clan. So we got Anvil of Doom. A fully kitted out King. Runesmith, who's the BSB, because Runesmith can be the BSB in the Royal Clan. And there's a whole, which is I think part of the reasons why Royal Clan's doing so well, because the Runesmith really does benefit a unit just by being in it, and then it being in the BSB as well is like it's like a triple upgrade basically. It's fantastic. He's got some Royal Clan warriors, but a big chunk of Longbeards with the Rune of Hesitation and the Rune of Battle. So I'd imagine the BSB chap goes in the Longbeards, and as probably does the King, to be fair. So you got your big mega horrible unit, which is like worth what 900 points, just sort of sat there. That's going to be really hard to shift as well. Hesitation means you can't use things that you require to charge to use, so you can't use hesitation. Yeah, so you can't use like impact hits or lances, or no, sorry, you can use impact hits, but you don't get like lances against them, which, you know, arguably you don't get impact hits either, because you can't. The rune of the Master Rune of Hesitation is a bit weird, because it says that an enemy unit attacking this unit cannot attack the unit using weapons that can only be selected when you charge. Now, technically, impact hits aren't weapons, and they're never selected. So it's just a bit weird as the wording. Most people play it as you don't get impact hits either, but you don't count as charging for the purposes of selecting weapons, I think is the wording, or something like that. So it's definitely arguable rules as written whether that applies to impact hits or not. So we've got Anvil of Doom. Oh, I've been through all that, idiot. But the rest of it, you got a dwarf cart. So what the dwarf cart allows you to do in conjunction with the anvil is this runesmith, this king, and these longbeards, as they are drilled, will go into a marching column. So that means it's longer than it is wide. So 24, 26. So it'd probably be like a 4x6, something like that. Or actually, with 26, you could do a 5x5 and then stick two at the back. And then it's slightly longer than it is wide. And then you can move them now 12 inches up the field, because the dwarf cart gives them +1 to move for the rest of the turn, just because it's near it. And then you can use the anvil to make them move again. So then they can use drilled and then go a bit more line hammery. So probably like 3 ranks of, what did I say, 26. So that's like 9x3 pretty much. And then park that in front of your enemy, having marched the bloody thing about 20 inches across the table. So, yeah. And then they've all got great weapons and other stuff. And like flaming weapons with extra AP. And +1, 2, 3, 4 because of just banners to combat before it even begins. And 2 runes of spell breaking there to basically just auto unbind stuff that you know could really hurt them. So that's a big, chunky, horrible thing to do to an opponent. And then he's got 12 Iron Drakes to shoot the shit out of any dragons. And he's got a Doomseeker. Don't know why that's there. Just add some spare points, I reckon. And Doomseekers are cool. In fact, Slayers are cool. I really want to do a Slayer army, but I don't know what to do about the models, really. I want to use the Fire Slayers, but look a bit too AOS-y, if that makes sense. So maybe not. Cool. Cool list. Well done for coming third. Highland GT, Amy Chatley. Amy Chatley. Okay. And Amy. Yeah, I don't. Oh, bloody thing! I'm just trying to work out is that normally it's considered a boy's name? Oh, it's Hindu. It's just. I apologise for my total lack of culture. It means karma before in this birth. Okay, cool name. Sorry, I get a bit obsessed with etymology. It's kind of one of those things that I can like just really get lost in. It's a proper rabbit hole for me. Like when people say, "What does that mean?" I'm like, "Oh, well, Etym Online. Here we go again." Anyway, Amy has. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Amy probably. Mr. Chatley has taken and he's named everything, which I love it when people name things. So, Gobgat Shroom Sniffer Gobgat Shroom Sniffer, Hallucinator of the Moon, who's a goblin general. He's 500 riding in a Ragnarok spider with an idle mork. Lovely. Chef's kiss. Brilliant. I love that as a combo, especially with the general, especially with Wild Magic, because you've got some really, really good like command aura spells. In fact, I will just show you. I've talked about them already. I've talked about them a lot, but they are really good. And like the command aura stuff is like really cool, especially if you've got a command range aura of 18 plus a massive. What is it? A one. It's the big base, isn't it? It's the really, really big base that the thing's on. So yeah, I mean, it's just I don't know why more people don't do this. So you got Here We Go, which is sorry, I thought it was by 1. Increase maximum charge range by 3 and add D3 to you. So that's an enchantment, range self 9+. If you're a level 4, relatively easy to cast. And then also the other one is this one, Evil Sun Shining, which means when you're within the command range, you get to reroll hits of 1 and improve AP by 1, which is hella good. Then Nafcab, Sampler of Shrooms. I don't know where that voice is. That's sort of halfway between Goblin and Skaven, isn't it? Has level 3, also on an Ragnarok. He's got 16 Spider Riber, Groxar's Gits, with Despider Banner, which basically normally just gives the unit poison attacks. But if you've already got poison attacks, like these spiders have, they poison on a 5-up. So that's pretty good. And then he's got a couple of normal ones. Spider food, question mark. Oh, that's great. With 5 snotling mobs. Nafnab's Wolf Spider Chariot. Oh, I wish that they allowed you to like take pictures of your army and stick it next to it so we could have a look at it. I think that would be really, really cool. And then Jabber of the Sawtooth Whatnots on the Rack on a Rock. What? Jabber of the Sawtooth Whatnots on the Rack on a Rock. Of the Sawtoothed Whatnots on the Ragnarok. 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 There's a play on words there. Disortive whatnots. Disortive whatnots. Disortive whatnots. I don't get that. There's a joke there that I'm not getting. Apologies. But yeah, great list. Really like that. And much fun was had by all there, I can tell. And Graham. Hart. It's quite a Scottish name, that. He's probably from Belfast or something. Now I've said that. Anyway, you got a mortuary priest, and then a level 4 serpent staff illusion bone dragon thing. Another mortuary priest. One of these has the serpent amulet. There it is. So that goes in that big block of archers, making them 45 poisoned attacks. And we've got a couple of tomb swarms for bonuses to casting, 7 bow shabti, 2 necrosphinx, a casket, 2 tomb scorpions. Lovely. Yeah, classic mortuary cults style list. So yep, well done to Graham. That's really interesting. So you managed to 11, 29, 34, 44. That is... Oh. Okay. So Graham managed to win despite losing a game because he absolutely curb stomped his opponent in the other 2 games. Whereas Amy, who managed to win all 3 games, didn't get first. This is why Grieg also won all 3 games but didn't get anywhere because of the point scoring thing. This is why I don't like this kind of weird 0 to 20 thing for like tournaments, because like it's almost like you're playing like a sport like, I don't know, football or rugby, or I don't know why I went football first. Rugby's my game. Rugby or football or whatever, and you go for like points difference or like goal difference as being the metric as to who wins the league. And that's, although that'd be interesting, like you're just not rewarding people for winning games. So like the person here who's come 7th has come 7th despite winning 3 games. Well, really, they should be 2nd. Like, in my opinion. So like, this is another reason why I really need to run a tournament. But like, what I'd really like to do is run one where where actually, you use some kind of rugby scoring effectively. So, you win a game, you get 4 points. You win a game and you kill, I don't know, let's say over 1,000 points of your opponent, or no, let's say, sorry, something like you win a game, you get 4 points. You draw, you get 2. You lose, you get nothing. But if you kill over 1,000 points of them, regardless of what they do to you, you get a bonus point. And if you lose, but you lose by a tight margin, don't know what that margin would be, you get a bonus point as well, like a losing bonus point, and then a kill point bonus point, and then and then essentially the tiebreak is who's killed the most points. So kill points essentially add up as like your tiebreak. Yeah. or results against each other is a good tiebreak as well. There's like a third tiebreak, but it's not always possible. But that to me would reward people for winning games, and would also reward people for doing well. And it functions the same as rugby, because in rugby you get the same for win, draw, loss. You get a losing bonus point for losing by, I think it's less than 7 points, not 7 points or less. And which is significant because basically 7 points is a try and a conversion. So you basically lose by less than a try. So essentially, if you'd have played for another like 2 or 3 minutes, you could have easily won it. So that's why you get like a consolation point. And then you get 1 point for scoring 4 tries, which is, if you scored 4 tries, you're pretty dominant. Like you've got to be playing good rugby to score 4 tries in a game. So it's just a point for being good at like the main job, as it were. And I think that kind of structure would work quite well in any kind of Warhammer tournament, really. But yeah. Anyway, that's that done. Balto's monthly Old World, another monthly tournament. Oh, it's one of those ones where he's going to add it up at the end of the year, probably. And then we have... Oh, it's a team thing. So, well done for putting it on. Team events are cool to compete in, but they don't really tell us a lot. Old World Palooza has decided to not release the results. And Bunker in the Old World, which took place in St Margaret's Road. I've missed one. Haven't I? I've missed one. There he is, Rob Symes. I knew I'd missed one. I knew I'd seen one of his. Dan Grundy with Bretonia. And Bretonia, Warriors of Chaos. Although, Ed Fawcett of Close Order has taken some Dark Elves. Yep, he's taken that list. Well, actually, there's some interesting things here. Lots of Cold One Knights. It's got Ruby Ring of Rune there and Banner of Harganeth there. But typical double dragon sort of stuff. Lots of Dark Riders. Very fast. Very fast. But the problem is... I wonder what he got beaten by, actually. Last two games, he got beaten by Luke and Matt. How was he on the top table against Matt if he'd lost against... the problem is he's probably being televised, so because Rob wanted to put him on the TV, on the stream. So the tables don't really mean anything at that tournament. Well, they do, but not the same as, you know, not. It's not like table one is essentially the top two players at the moment. Which way was Dan Grundy, Luke, Matt. Dan. I've done Dan twice. Double Dan, Luke, Matt. So Dan Grundy has got Bretonia. He's got a Duke with that stuff, heroism stuff. He's got a Baron with knightly temper stuff. He's got a Paladin with a BSB, and he's got a Prophetess with the Prayer Icon of Ganel, which I don't know what that does. Bear with, dear listener, whilst I check it out. Well, I do know what it does because I've read it. I've forgotten what it does. It's a distinction. Prayer Icon of Canel. Oh, increased dispel range by 3. And dispel hexes, they get +1 to dispel, but only hexes. Okay, fair enough. Some knights, some bows, some peg knights, and some grail knights. So an interesting, like, fairly standard set of characters, I'd say, but actually a fairly interesting set of... he's not gone too heavy down the peg knight route, and he's also, you know, got a few grail knights in there, which, you know, you do see from time to time, but not that often. You never see questing knights, by the way, in towards the top tables. Absolutely never. So, what was it? Dan, Luke, Matt. So, Dr. Luke Blacksill. Don't know what his doctorate's in. He's a historian of modern British political history at the University of Oxford, circa 1750 to present. I'll just see. He's fairly well published as well. Why do historians ignore digital analysis? Bring on the Luddites, published in 2023. This article argues that the historians have failed to grasp the profound opportunities afforded by computational analysis, despite the abundance of machine-readable data. Interesting. The language of imperialism in British electoral politics from 1880 to 1910. So he looks at... he's like a quantitative historical analysis. So basically, and I'm probably oversimplifying it, so I apologise. But basically, he will take massive amounts of text, specifically selected text, such as speeches. Speeches are always a good way of doing this kind of analysis. Essentially, put it all into a big machine and ask it to identify patterns. So linguistic patterns, so not just simply how number of occasions a word was used, but sort of like tries to contextualize that, and then tries to like, because he can like plot like longitudinal graphs, graphs of like language usage over time. It's really interesting, actually. A feminized language of democracy. I'm going to read that anyway. Dr. Luke Blacksill with his Britannia. He's got Claude Voilier, I think, with Syrien's Locket, Gromwell Greathound, Gauntlet the Jewel, that stuff. He's got a Prophetess with that stuff. The Green Knight with, Green Knight stuff. Réponse, a Paladin with that stuff. That's interesting. He's gone for heroism. Huh. Interesting. Got 3 units of 3 Pegasus Knights. Yeah, bigger units of Pegasus Knights seem to do better in general. Like 2 units of 4 seems to be a bit more optimal, but 3 units of 3, he's obviously making it work. And quite a lot of Knights of the Realm and La Populace de la Noble Misère. I didn't. Well, anyway, shut up, Dan. So shut up, Dan's brain, and comment on the list, which is what you're trying to do. So we got 3 units of Pegasus Knights. What is this? Just a standard? Yeah. This is the Legend of the 360 degree. Don't know what that means. Degrees. 360 degrees. Is it the legend? Hold on. Legend of the 360 degrees. Yeah. I don't know what that's a reference to. Red Knights, Blue Knights, Green Knights. I think that means another unit of Pegasus for you to kill. Oh, another Pegasus unit to assassinate you. Yeah, tense. Yeah. My French is pretty terrible. Another unit of Pegasus Knights to kill you. Excellent. Well done. Really like that. And then, of course, Matt Clayton won with Dragon, Triple Dragon, and some other shit. Fine. Actually, some other shit being a big unit of Chaos Warriors. 37, no less. 1 Dragon Ogre and Triple Dragon. So, I think at a larger tournament that would struggle because, like, if somebody's gone in for like dragon killing stuff, what was his closest one against Luke? Yeah, because Luke will have been able to surround the dragons, outmaneuver them a little bit, and but what else did he come close? His last game he came quite close. Who did he play? Ed Fawcett he played last with this dark. Again, the Dark Elf list has a double dragon and lots of other stuff to kite around those dragons. And actually, those big units of Cold One Knights would have done pretty well against the Chaos Warriors if they got in. So actually, that's not a bad team up. Andy Ransom, lovely guy. He runs another channel. What's he going for nowadays? Bert Daminson. Lots of characters actually with the shooty stuff. Big unit of Rangers because they're great. Couple of grudge throwers, interesting. Gyrocopters, and Iron Drakes. Iron Drakes, I endorse the Iron Drakes, the Gyrocopters, the Rangers. Actually, heavy characters is interesting. I'm not sure about Burlock Daminson in general. The Grudge throws, I think, are pretty bad value for money. I'm not sure why they're there. But they are. And he's managed to win 3 games. Normally, he wins 1 and then draws the other 4. So he's mixing it up a little bit. So well done, Andy, for coming 5th. Nice. Okay. He just put 2 on 40 points. Is that? Oh, are they saying this is what they think the tournament limit should be? Okay. Paul Lowe of Imps Gaming. Imps Gaming. That's just an hour north of me in Lincoln. But the people of Boston don't like the people of Lincoln because local people find other local people to dislike. And also, people in Lincoln are a bit weird. Right. Have I Bunker in the Old World 6? No, I haven't looked at this one. So Chris Fairholm came 3rd, but has an Asterix. Asterix? No, that's the French thing. French cartoon character. Asterisk. Sorry, it was Matt. That was first. So, Chris Fairholm of Colonel Huitzil's Horny Catastrophageddon. Yes. With Old Blood, Carnosaur, Blade of Revered Zunki, which is really cool weapon. No wards or armor saves against hits, and Old Bloods have lots of attacks and hella strength. So it's fucking great. 65 points, but really nice. Then we've got an Old Blood on another Carnosaur with the armor of Silver Steel. That's 3 up save in it, something like that. And he's got a Chief on a Pterodon with the Ruby Ring of Ruin, which is pretty cool. No BSB. He's got some Warriors. He's got 4 blocks of 16 skink skirmishers. Oh my lord. That is an absolute ton of poison attacks. Yes. So 16, 32, 64 poison attacks coming from those bad boys. Once again, Games Workshop have made Skinks the best unit in the game accidentally, or not. It's got some Croxagores, because Croxagores and Skinks are best friends, and 2 Stegatrons, which is pretty cool because Stegadons are actually really good in combat. They're kind of like the Lizardman version of super heavy chariots, if you can think of that. They got stomp and impact hits. Not a lot of impact hits. I think it's D3 plus 1 impact hits, but they do have D3 plus 2 stomps. So they're very, very stompy. And they've got reasonably decent combat prowess. So actually, Stegodons are pretty good. Bastiladons are bloody awful because they've only got 4 wounds. The toughness 5. Yeah, they've got a 3 up save, but still, just die really quickly. And that's not really what you imagine. You imagine it would have a 2 up save, wouldn't you? Because it's got massively thick bone armor, which is and bone armor that's really thick is about as strong as steel. So it should be they should be steam tanks almost in terms of their toughness. But whatever. I don't write the rules. Chris Hale of the Azrai, appropriately named because that's what they call themselves, has some Wood Elves and has managed to end up on the podium position, which is really good. Especially has Wood Elves, despite not being the best faction in the game, got a massive nerf. Well, I say a massive nerf. I mean, Sisters, which he has none of, which is also interesting. Sisters, I think, are still one of the best units in the Wood Elf roster because they've got a 4 up ward save. So they're actually the tankiest unit in the roster, really. But anyway, he's got a great stag with lots of stuff, actually. Nothing incredible. Nothing incredibly weird. Netlings is -1 to hit in the charge or in a challenge. Befuddlement of Mischiefs is I don't know, if you roll a 1 to hit, you get hit with a strength 3 attack or something rubbish like that. It's not great. Mischief, sorry. Single enemy units, -1 weapon skill initiative, -1 to hit in a challenge. Luckstone, Helm of the Hunt. Don't know what that does, actually. I've not looked at Wood Elves for a while. Sorry, again. It's not that I don't know, I've just not read it for a while. +1 to their armor save. +1 weapon skill and attack when they charge, which is alright. It's got a light armor and shield, so he's on a 4-up save. Hooray! And Dawnstone, Luckstone. It's got lots of stones, lots of crystals. Or a healing crystal, which is vibrations. Luckstone. Is that a generic one then? I don't know what that does. I mean, I'm just checking just in case he's come up with something amazing. But it doesn't feel like it yet. Talismans. Luckstone, reroll a single. Dawnstone, reroll on an armor save of natural 1. Okay. I mean, yeah, it's about the best you're going to get, really. So, -1 to hit in a challenge, +1 weapon skill initiative for them, +1 weapon skill for yourself. What was this? Hell of the Hunt. Weapon skill and attacks. Alright, 5 attacks on the charge. With a great weapon. I mean, yeah, it's about as good as you're going to get, really, with the Glade Lord, aside from sticking him on a dragon. Then we've got Spellweaver, who's a level 4, who's gone for battle magic, a Deepwood Sphere, Ruby Ring for a bit more output, and a Power Scroll. I do not know what a Deepwood Sphere does. It's 45 points. You can use it with enemy wizards. It's within 6 inches of successfully cast a spell. Okay. So you can cast a woodland terrain feature near a wizard, which means as soon as they cast, they take D3 strength 4 hits with an AP of 1. I mean, that's situational, but you can create the situations in which you can use it. So, okay, fair enough. Then he's got some Glade. He's got 3 units of 8 Glade Guard, 2 units of 6 Deepwood Scouts, which you can take 1 core per 1,000 points, I think. Some Glade Riders, some Wild Riders, 2 Treemen, and an Eagle. So, Treemen are quite good, actually, combat-wise. It's just getting there that's the problem with them. They can walk through woods, so like you can like teleport them around a little bit, which is pretty cool. And then he's got some Wild Riders, which will hide around behind woods all game and then pop out at some point, kill something, and then immediately die. Or immediately vanish, let's say. So, yeah, but really good for him to get on the podium with that and actually win all 3 games. It's pretty impressive, so well done. And then Matt Pastfield. Matt Pastfield, I don't know what that was, has taken Khemri with Bone Dragon King, High Priest, Samuel the Serpent, massive unit of archers, there they are, 29, and that's not massive actually. Big unit, Team Guard with cool stuff for the Herald and whatever to go in. And Necrotech probably goes in that as well. Yep. Yeah. Lure of the Desert Wind comes in quite a lot. So, I wonder... I can't quite remember what that does. I don't know whether it just gives them reserve move. Or whether it does something else. Oh, of course it's in the bloody Arcane Journal. Which means I've got to wait for this stupid e-publisher to bloody load. Ooh. Oh, I forgot to do that and zoom in a bit. Sorry. Eventually. Sorry. People keep asking me to do that and I just keep forgetting. I can't zoom into this, sadly, because it's an e-reader and Games Workshop are idiots who don't give you just... Anyway, Vanguard and Reserve move. Meh. I mean, you can normally do that quite reliably with Magic, so the Team Guard isn't great. A couple of Necrosphinx as a Team Scorpion's pretty good. So he's got a Dragon and a couple of Necrosphinx to fly around and be a bit of a pain in the arse, and then he can relentlessly march forward with this big unit of Team Guards and 29 poison shots every turn. So, you know, it's a pretty good list. I'm not surprised it did well. So, well done. Well done to Matt. So, finally, how far in? An hour and 10 in. Time just fly when you're doing these things. I don't know whether you've ever like recorded stuff before, but player pack here. Right, apparently it's really interesting. So let's have a look. This took place in Canada. Gutlords, Wolves of the Sea, High Elves, Chaos Dwarfs. Ooh, interesting. And Beason of Mighty Morphin Toy Rangers. Right. Here, oh, I just clicked on it. Check out. Why does it keep doing that bloody thing? Here we go. Black Knight Games. Oh, is that what BKG stands for? Didn't know that. Right. 3 rounds consisting of 150 minutes. Not 2.5 hours. 150 minutes. 9,000 seconds or something like that. 9,000 seconds. With a lunch break after the first round, of course. Awards will be difficult to win if you haven't got a painted army. Legacy and AJ is in. Scenarios in play. Chess clocks. Nice. In addition, there was a 2.5 hour round, not 150 minute round. So players do not use the clocks. We will have a dice down policy, and players will submit the current game score as a result at the end of the round timer. I mean, chess clocks are okay. Yeah, they're okay. The problem is people forget to like use them. But when a player's out of time, they may not take any action that requires them to make a choice, so they may still roll saves on attacking combats that they're already involved in. They must declare any charge reactions as whole. Combats may be resolved as normal. That's interesting. So, like, normally, how a chess clock works is if you run out of time, you lose the round. Not this. So, basically, when a player's clock is out, then essentially the other player can keep on playing until their clock is out. Yeah. I mean, this is because they're impractical. Because, like, for instance, I know this probably doesn't happen, but like hypothetically, somebody could have like 15 minutes. I mean, in fact, in AOS, this did frequently happen because I like to take simple armies that you can play quickly with. But like Mega Gargants or like Varangard and Archaon, basically, that's my type of AOS. Like big, heavy, meaty stuff that looks cool on the tabletop, and highly elite. Not much interaction, just sort of, you know. Anyway, but I have had or historically at tournaments, I had quite a few games of AOS where literally my first turn was like, 5 minutes, and then we'd essentially be waiting like an hour and a half for my opponent to like have their first turn. Sometimes, like especially one game in particular against a guy who had Nagash, who has like 8 spells and they're all weird, and then he's got loads of chaff and oh god, it was loads of ghouls. I think what was it? Anyway, it doesn't matter. But loads and loads of chaff basically to move around and faff about with, and I don't know whether to move that a millimetre, that kind of stuff. And then he got a double turn, and then it's like, oh great. So then you're an hour and a half in. He'd have definitely run out of his time, and I had all my time left pretty much. I would, if we were using chess clocks, I would have like 100%. He would have run out after his second turn, and then I would have had all my turn left. So does that mean then that I basically get 4 double turns effectively because he can't do anything? Like, and I know that doesn't really happen in Warhammer because you can't really do that like super elite. I suppose you can with Chaos to an extent, really, can't you? Like that list we saw with the big unit of warriors and a triple dragon. I mean, I guess you can to an extent, but yeah, maybe that's the list I need to buy, because I like keeping it simple, and I like just having big characterful like things I can invest in, and it's those things that do all the work. So big chunky, I don't like having lots of things all over the place, because I just forget. I get easily distracted and I forget things. So I need to keep my strat. And actually, those lists where I did keep it really simple and straight, I was really good at that. Because like I've got a lot of processing power, but not a lot of concentration. Anyway, not a lot of mental stamina, I guess. Alacrity 100%, stamina -20. Right. Battles, paint, sportsmanship. Yeah, whatever. I've seen this sort of stuff before. Oh, why do people keep telling me to check this out? What's so interesting? I mean, I need to check it out anyway, because, whatever. Maybe it's the people who are asking me to check it out who actually played. Anyway, oh no, I've already done that. Have I? Yes. So, BKG, William came third with Chaos Dwarfs. So we have the best character in the game, hands down, because it's an engineer and a level 4 wizard and pretty good in combat, and you can put it on something that's basically a dragon. So it's freaking fantastic, and it's got the chaos armor rule, which means it can wear armor and cast spells. So it's awesome. 475 points is an absolute steal for all that stuff. Mantle of Stone gives it +1 extra toughness, so now it's toughness 7. 5 at ward, toughness 7, armor of meteoric iron, which I think gives it a 3. That's the one that gives it a 3 up save, isn't it? I reckon. Armor of meteoric. Oh no, it's the 5 up. It's 5 up invulnerable save thing. So it's got. I think the Bale Taurus has got a 4 up save inbuilt, but basically anything more than AP 1 is wasted because they'll just use that armor instead. Got a 2 Khan. One with a Ruby Ring of Ruin. You see that quite commonly because it's 90 points. Is a cheap way of delivering. Because Giant Wolf's got a 9-inch move, so 18-inch, and then you can cast that, whatever. You can't march and cast that, but, it's very manoeuvrable. A couple of units of Infernal Guard, which are pretty nasty. A couple of units of Cutthroats, which are just cheap chaff. They've all got bows. 2 units of Bull Centaur Renders, which I quite like. They're okay. They're difficult to wield, though. Kadai are awful. And then he's got 2 of what are probably the best light cavalry in the game, and a Hell Cannon. Hell Cannon's an interesting choice because it's gash, but it's it's a couple of, what is he going to do? Like hobgoblins to kind of kite stuff around so the Bull Centaurs can counterpunch the things that these have been kiting around, and then. I actually don't know how that army is going to function and do any good at all, to be honest. But well done to William, because you've taken an interesting list and done well with it. Keith Hansen has finished second. That's no moon. That's a sun. It's. Is that a sun shines out of arse joke? I don't know. So we've got a mage who's a level 2 wizard on foot with the Law Familiar, Power Scroll, Warn of Suffering, and Illusion. Oh, he desperately wants to cast a spell that stops somebody from charging, I think. Sword of Hearth. Actually, Sword of Hearth is pretty good, as far as I recall. I'm not sure whether it's their like. Oh no, it's just a great weapon, isn't it? Without, isn't it? It's just a great weapon without thingy. Oh, hold on. Why is it not? What am I missing? Have I... A? What have I missed? Is it in the Elven Honours bit? Sword of Hearth, page 187. Oh, it's idiots in the armory. Right. Okay. Cool. Magic, great weapon with no... Oh, so maybe he is going for the old doppelganger there. Then we've got an Archmage, level 4. On a Skycutter. Cool. That's nice. That's nice indeed. Skycutters are great. They're like heavy chariots with swift stride. Absolutely slightly broken, I think. When the models are out again, expect to see a lot of Skycutters, especially with the Lathern list, because the Lathern list apparently allows you to give them like ambushers, which I think will just make them just so broken. Well, it wouldn't be. It's not the first time that Games Workshop have totally screwed up game balance by introducing a massively overpowered white elf list, as they do every time they release the High Elves in Fantasy, and every time, and when they introduced Teclis and the Lumineth in AOS, they were totally broken as well. So they do this every time, and I'm expecting exactly the same thing. Although by the sounds of things, the Creation sub-faction is the one where they've not, that's more characterful than competitive, which is annoying me because that's the one I want to take. So anyway, but it's like stuff like Dragon Princes, because Dragon Princes are really good. They're super good. Some of the best heavy cavalry in the game. Loads and loads of high quality attacks. Loads of cool special rules. For instance, move through cover. No, not move. They don't have move through cover, do they? But they reroll ones on dangerous terrain checks, so you don't really care about them going through woods and stuff. You know, they are very good heavy cavalry. You know, full plate, drilled, all the works, and actually quite cheap because they've got impetuous, which allows them to essentially make them quite a bit cheaper than they should be for all their rules. Now, Impetuous isn't really a problem because you just stick a unit of Silver Helms slightly in front of them. So you charge the Silver Helms and the Dragon Princes in at the same time. Duh. So they're not as bad as people say, I think. Right, you got Noble, BSB on a Dragon. Noble on a Dragon. And a handmaiden who is because he wants to go for sisters. Yeah, so if you make the handmaiden your general, you can go for Sisters of Avalon for core. So he has done that. He's gone for 600 points of the buggers. 34. With a Ruby Ring of Ruin in it and some magic resistance. Absolutely nasty. And I shall show you why. I talked about these earlier. So they have these... do they? They don't have those. They have... Where are they? They have... Oh, they do have Bows of Avalon. Okay. Sorry, I thought they had something better. Right, so they have Evasive... Arrows of Isha. That's their special rule that makes them really good. Arrows of Isha, Evasive, blah, blah, blah. Ithilmar armor and weapons, open order skirmishers, and strike first. So they're annoying in combat because they get to roll all their attacks first. However, special rules, Arrows of Isha. As Armor Bane 1 and AP 1. If you go to Bow of Avalon, it's already got Armor Bane 1, so now it's got Armor Bane 2 and AP 1. 30-inch range, strength, is it S? Yes. So strength 3. So 32 of those, probably put on a hill. BS5, they're going to have a lot of hits, you know, so up against a dragon, for instance, 32 of those, you're probably hitting, let's say long range, so you're hitting on 3s, 20 are going to hit, and then 6 are going to wound, but because they wound with their AP3, basically. And what the character allows you to do is re-roll something, and I can't remember what it is. +1 to hit and okay, this character, any units that join again, +1 to hit and wound. So, you know, and it's until your next start of turn subphase. So it's essentially for an entire battle round, you get this +1/2 hit and wound. So dragon charges. So you're staring down the face of a dragon that's about to charge at you. Absolutely fine. You're going to be hitting 30 odd times on 2, so you're going to hit 25 times. You're going to wound like 4 times at AP3 and 4 times at AP1. You know, it's enough to kill a giant. It's pretty nasty. It's about the same as giving a unit with low ballistic skill poison attacks. In fact, it's arguably slightly better. So that's cool. It's got some dragon princes. And a sky cutter. So not a lot really. It's yeah, I was going to say it's going to really struggle to like absolutely tank things because there's not a massive amount of output. There's a massive amount of output from that unit of shooting, but he's going to have to essentially come up against. I was literally about to say something that needs to go into combat with you, like chaos, in order to table it because he needs it all to come to him. So. And this does because he's got a load of characters on steed, so it's all got to get in range. Yeah. That's yeah. I feel sorry for old Justin because it's almost like Keith had designed a list to kill Justins, and that happens in tournaments. Sometimes you come up against somebody who's got like the perfect antidote to your list. And Adam Slutsky has once again won a tournament with some Wolves of the Sea, and this time he's got a Demon Prince level 4, 3 favour of the gods, extra arm, blah, blah, blah. I think he had that last time, and then another Exalted Sorcerer, 2 little Exalted Sorcerers, a load of skirmishing Berserkers, some Marauder Horsemen. He's gone for 7 of them and given them all the Mark of Tzeentch. 7's the magic number of Nurgle though. What's going on there? And he's got a little unit of warriors, presumably because the Chaos Warrior Champion is the best single wound character that they've actually got. And he's gone for 5 skin wolves because they're actually basically super heavy cavalry, because they do have swift stride and they are really good. And he's got some dragon ogres to round everything out. And actually, dragon ogres are pretty effective. Loads of wounds, pretty decent save. Quite a lot of output. Dragon ogres are almost broken. So yeah, that's a pretty interesting list. He's got a lot of stuff to get in the way and a lot of punch and poke over here, and in fact a lot of poke over here too with the Demon Prince. So has he put those sorcerers? He's put those sorcerers on steeds, or Demonic Mount and steed respectively. So they'll go in these unit of Marauder Horse, and that'll give them the +1 to cast, because you only have to be in a unit with a unit strength of 10 or more to get +1 to cast. These are 14, and including the character, the one that's mounted will be 16, and the demonic steed will be make it 17. So they can lose quite a few of those before he fails to get the +1 to cast. So that's pretty good. And this one's got a spell for me. So I mean, effectively, this is a level 3 wizard without being a level 3 wizard. Level 3 wizard for casting, level 2 for dispelling, effectively. So yeah, that's it. I think that's pretty much it. Yeah. Thanks for watching. I need to do another video about something else that I found the other day, but that can wait. If I've missed a tournament that you want me to cover, let me know in the comments. If you're still listening, also let me know. It's an hour and a half in. My video seems to be getting longer for some reason. Just rambling more, I guess. Or I've got more to talk about. I don't know, though. I mean, it's only Warhammer. There's loads of stuff happening in the world that probably deserves to be talked about more than, a few Warhammer tournaments. But then again, mental health is important, and establishing a good set of hobbies is excellent for your mental health. So, anyway, I'm going to stop talking now and go and cook some dinner for my family. We are having probably meatballs, homemade meatballs. I go to the butchers and get pork and beef every week and make some lovely meatballs for everybody. And probably having those with some homemade tomato sauce, which will be like onions and tomatoes and a bit of basil and salt and pepper and obviously seasoning. I don't know why I needed to mention that. And a bit of asafoetida, I think, goes in there nicely. And I like to put like some carrots in as well. I know it's a bit controversial, but I like to do like the julienne, like little julienne carrots, and put those in just for a few extra nutrients, a bit of extra fibre as well, and a little bit of extra bite, to be honest. Bit of garlic and some pasta. So that's probably what I'm going to make for dinner. And now I'm getting slightly hungry. Anyway, I'll bid thee adieu and see you round. Yeah, so I need to do another video on that other thing, and I wish there was a phone number for these. In fact, is there a phone number? I bet there isn't. No. In fact, I don't know. Connect with us. Yeah, you can only get like the email address. I'm not on Twitter, so that can. I should try messaging them on here, shouldn't I? Right. Anyway, I shall do that now. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you around. Toodaloo.